Hey guys, it's Doglightning. Anyone watching my YouTube obviously knows who I am, but I'm a Grandmaster Nico support main in Season 10 so far. Finished last season Master, and Zoe support is something I've been practicing actually since Season 9, but I didn't want to start doing the climb until I felt good enough at it, as it's a very hard champion thing to do. But we definitely finally did it. Hit Diamond, you can see here, Diamond 4, 63% win rate on Zoe. I'm actually currently almost promos to D2, but yeah, I thought I'd make you guys a guide and show what it's about, so I'm going to go through my MOBA Fire guide here, which you can find in the description below if you want to go through it yourself. But yeah, definitely follow my Twitch, my YouTube, Discord. The day that this YouTube video is going live, I'm actually going to be playing Zoe support all day on stream, so come check it out. So pros and cons of Zoe. The good cons or pros of Zoe is obviously she has great scaling with her damage she can do later, right? With good pokes. She has safe warding. You can use Zoe's R to get like good wards and bushes that most supports can't get to. She has good pick potential using, I like to go Glacial, so using things like Spooky Ghost and GLP combined with your bubble, you can get good picks that may not net a kill because you're not a mid laner, but like with your team behind you can like chunk someone out slash kill them with your team, right? So good skill expression and great zoning control. So these are good things that Zoe brings. Obviously, there are a lot of cons. She's really weak in lane before level 6. She can get killed very easily. It's hard for her to land her spells, right? Getting ganked. She's hard to learn, and she's very skill shot reliant. Probably the worst one, which I put as the last, is that your team will flame you probably for playing this. Ignore them. When I was learning this and I was getting flamed through silver, plat, gold, people saying how to report me and blah, 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 it'll never work in high elo. Well, guess what? As soon as I got to high elo, I've been winning like crazy because you finally have teammates who don't flame and just play the game. So honestly, just mute people. So summoner spells, obviously you need flash. It's just like mandatory. I don't think there's much to say about that. Like you can paddle star and flash to extend the range to get a kill and stuff. Barrier, ignite, and exhaust are what I choose to go. I think barrier is the best in most cases. You're very, very easy to kill. A lot of the time in lane, you're going to be the kill target for the enemy. So having barrier is very good. I also like to think of it as not just a defensive option because it does proc Zoe's W. So at level 3, you can get an empowered auto attack, move speed, and damage off it. So you can use it for going aggressive and getting kills. Ignite is good when you're faced like lanes that you actually think you have potential to get kills slash lanes with heals, right? Not much to say about that. You pop the Ignite and it'll reduce the heals by half. Exhaust is good into enemy kill lanes. Yasuo, Tristana, Draven are the ones I wrote down. But, if the enemy team has a bunch of assassins or, like, say they have, like, a Nautilus with, like, a low-range ADC like Lucian, right, who will be in exhaust range when you get hooked, exhaust is a good option to save you versus those kind of things. So runes, I go Glacial. Kind of hard to see it here on the full screen, but we'll go through it either way. Oh, I guess you can see it all. So Glacial, I really like Glacial on Zoe support. Here's why. You can go Airy and Electrocute, but Zoe's not really looking to get kills that much in lane. She's usually just looking to scale it out. I find Glacial really synergizes with her kit. Usually you're going for a Q auto and then walking away. So you land the Q auto, now the enemy is slowed. So when you're walking away, at most they can trade like one auto attack back onto you rather than like multiple auto attacks. Plus, it has more synergy in a duo lane because if you slow them, your ADC now can maybe land like a spell, like a Caitlyn can land her Q or like an auto attack or something. So I think Glacial works the best. It really helps a lot with like just like getting your Q auto and walking away and not taking too much damage in return. Hex Flash is really good on Zoe, especially in the support role because you're going to be playing in the bush and you can use Hex Flash to proc Zoe's W to get move speed. So I like to sit in the bush, channel the Hex Flash. You have to wait until the enemy uses their key spells, by the way. So like if there's a Nautilus and he wastes his hook, this is an opportunity. You go and you Hex Flash out, you get the move speed to land the empowered auto slow on the enemy ADC, which you can use to either land up a free Q, auto Q, right, or land a free bubble on them. If you're roaming mid, you can Hex Flash out of the bush to get into the middle lane with a speed boost and land that auto attack slow to help you land the bubble. I think it's the best option in this part of the tree, really good. You can also, before 6, use a Paddle Star Q, Hex Flash, Paddle Star, Hex Flash over a wall. It's sort of like a Zoe R before you get R. It's pretty hard to land that. I've only done it a few times, but it's something you can do. Biscuit Delivery is one of the main runes that I think is super important and why I like Glacial so much, to be honest. Zoe's got very bad mana issues early, unless you're very skilled at her. You're going to be throwing them out a lot to poke and like throwing bubbles out, and it gives you 10% of your missing mana back when you pop it. So only use it when you're almost like when you don't have enough mana to cast a spell, pop your biscuit, and that's when you'll get the maximum efficiency out of it. This will allow you to just not run out of mana until you hit your lost chapter. I also take Relic Shield on Zoe so that you can get the bubbles in lane to get free stuff. So Relic Shield doesn't give you mana regen, so this also helps with that. For the last tier, Cosmic Insight is what I usually run. Just CDR is great. Zoe's Bubble is such a long cooldown, and reducing the cooldown of that and all our other spells is good. But Time War Atomic is something I haven't used too much, but it's definitely good into engage lanes. If you get hooked by a Nautilus or something, you pop Time Work, it'll instantly heal you a chunk of HP instead of like over time, and it'll give you move speed to run away. So Time Warp's definitely very good into lanes you're scared of getting bursted. And then after that, you obviously need to go Domination because of Ingenious Hunter, reducing the cooldown of your Hextech GLP and your Twin Shadows, the core items in the Glacial build. But it's also nice because you can get Zombie Ward or Ghost Poro, right? And these are good because they give you an extra 30 AP, just help you out with your scaling a bit. Zoe does really good with AP, and it also helps you out with vision control. Ghost Poro to get early vision down that you can just keep yourself safe, and Zombie Ward for late game vision control. Obviously, you can still go with Taste the Blood and stuff, but I don't know. For me personally, I'm just like Zoe's weak in lane. I'm going to scale, so these just help you with the scaling. This is the domination tree. This is what you can run if you're in a lane where you think you have kill pressure or you specifically need things, maybe like you think you need a proto belt because there's like Bard ult and like Zac jumps and you just want that dash to be able to play safe. Domination's good. You can go electrocute or Dark Harvest. Electrocute's good because you can proc it with Ignite. So you probably want to take Ignite if you take Electrocute with their Q auto Ignite without landing the bubble, and you can proc it. You can Q auto Proto Belt to proc it. Dark Harvest is good if you're into lanes that don't have sustain or shields. You can proc it just for free poke into it, and it scales through the game. It's also nice because you're in a duo lane with two people, and its cooldown gets reset when you get kills. So if you all in bot lane and you proc your Dark Harvest on one, it'll reset the cooldown. You can proc it twice, so it gets double efficiency in the bot lane. Just a decent rune in general on Zoe. In the next one, you can definitely take Cheap Shot for early kill pressure and Taste the Blood for sustain. But when I'm going this domination page, I'm really just trying to scale into the late game. So I take the Sun Impact for the magic pen that you'll get, but this won't come into effect until 6. So again, Cheap Shot and Taste the Blood are better early options, but once you hit 6, I think Sun Impact's the best. So again, Zombie Ward or Ghost Portal, same thing as before, 30 AP and vision, what's to hate? And then after that, I choose Relentless Hunter. Support is a lot about getting to places first and stuff, but if you're choosing to rush Proto Belt, Ingenious Hunter is okay too, so you can use it every 20 seconds instead of 40 seconds, but I don't know, 40 seconds is a short enough cooldown in my opinion. Relentless Hunter just allows you to move around the map and get to places first. So when I'm going this one, again, my ideal with Domination Tree is to scale. So we get the 30 AP from Ghost Poro, and we take Gathering Storm, which will scale with AP later. So in this page, because I'm not getting Biscuits, I do get the Spell Thieves, which means you may not get as many bubbles in lane. You can probably only get casters, and maybe if your ADC is nice, he'll let you take some melees. But you'll need the mana regen from that to sustain lane a bit. But later in the game, when you have Gathering Storms, your Zombie Ward / Ghost Poro, and the Shard of True Ice, that's a lot of free AP. Like, I'm not kidding. By mid-game, the 20-minute mark, half the time I have the same amount of AP as a mid-lane Zoe because you get 100 free AP, right? From Gathering Storm at 20 minutes, you're getting 24 AP plus 30 AP, right? And plus 45 AP. And by the 20-minute mark, you have 100 AP, which is essentially free, right? Because the support item's free. It's what you just level up for free. The Zombie Ward Ghost Poro is free. It's just you place wards, and the Gathering Storm's free. So by 20 minutes, you have 100 AP for free. That keeps scaling the Gathering Storm. So this is definitely a page for scaling, right? You can take Scorch if you want to have kill pressure in your lane, but in my opinion, I think if you're not going to be going Glacial and you're going this page, you're really just trying to scale and do damage later. For the top rune on this page, I would take Transcendence for the 10% CDR because, again, I'm looking to scale. But if you are having mana issues in lane, which is a real thing because, honestly, the 25% mana regen from Spell Thieves is really not enough. You can take Mana Flow Ban, but I don't know. I think you're better off just taking the scaling options and just playing a bit safe in lane until you can get your last chapter, personally. So those are the runes. I won't talk too much about her spells because you guys probably know about Zoe's spells, but her passive is after each cast of a spell, you get an empowered auto, which synergizes really well with her glacial augment auto because you get an empowered auto attack that's slowing them. Paddle Star is the farther distance it goes, it does more damage. You cast it once behind you, and then you cast it again to launch it. Each cast gives you a passive proc, so you Q, you can auto, Q, you can auto. But in lane, I wouldn't focus on getting both the autos off too much because it'll get you killed. I'd usually just Q, Q, auto, and walk away unless you have an opportunity to do it. Spell Thief gives you balloons that come in lane that give you free summoner spells and items, slash you can pick up enemy summoner spells and items if they use them. This is why I like the Relic Shield option because it allows you to get the bubbles for free, which can really like net you free kills in lane. Like it's really like it sucks because I really like the mono regen and extra AP from Spell Thieves is obviously much better on Zoe, but at the same time, if you're going Glacial Zoe and you pick up a GLP from a minion, or you pick up a freaking Redemption and you can like heal your mid laner, right? Like a Proto Belt, like there's just so many good summoners that can literally solo like get you kills in lane that I think it's worth sacrificing a bit of the late game scaling for the Relic Shield. That's why I go this in my Glacial build, because Glacial is not about one-shotting, it's about controlling the enemy with slows and stuff, where the Electrocute page I go the Spell Thieves because I'm sacrificing some lane pressure to just get the scaling. Yeah, the second part of Spell Thieves is when you cast a summoner spell or something from your Spell Thieves, you get the move speed, so that's why it's really good with the Hex Flash in my opinion. Sleepy Trouble Bubble can go through walls. You all know this. You hit someone, they fall asleep, big damage, big stonks. Puddle Jump teleports you forwards, and you always go back to where you used it from. So you want to combo this with your Paddle Star to get really long off. You know, you Paddle Star, R forwards, Paddle Star, land the big burst, or you land like a Sleepy Trouble Bubble through a wall, and then you can like Q and then Portal Jump over the wall and hit them and connect. So really good stuff. Usually this is when Zoe becomes a real champion in lane. Usually before 6, you're just trying to play safe and not die, and then when you hit 6, it's like now you can start to land big poke. You can like portal jump forward and land a bubble that your ADC can then follow up on. So there's really only, I have it in 2 different ones, but these are actually the exact same. The only difference is one I'm taking Q first and one I'm taking E first. So in general, we'll start off, you max Q first, you max E second, and you max W last. Pretty basic stuff. You know, Q is your damage and poke, and E is your pick and your CC, right? Your W isn't that useful as a support. You know, it's just giving you some move speed. The difference again is this one I'm taking Q level 1, which is better for lane, and this one is if you're invading, don't point until you see an opportunity to land the bubble, but if you see an opportunity to land the bubble, you know, take your E. I haven't really played around with taking W level 2, which some mid laners do, because I think in a duo lane having a sleep is more important. If they engage on you and you can put one of them to sleep, it really turns the tide of a fight. But you know, you guys can try out taking W level 2 and let me know how it goes. I just can't see it working well, so I haven't really tried it. I've already talked enough about these, but yeah, you take the Relic Shield for early lane pressure and getting bubbles, and you take Spell Thieves for scaling. Boots, I almost always take Spell Pen because you're looking to do big damage, but if the enemy team has a bunch of CC, Merc can be a good option too. For me, this is the 2 core builds. You have your core Glacial build, or if you're running the Domination tree build, right? So for the Glacial, your GLP, huge 20-second cooldown with the Ingenious Hunter. You just GLP for a free thing. You can R-Forge, GLP, land the bubble. In team fights, if you hold your GLP, you can use it to zone people from your carry and land bubbles on them. Like, say they have, like, I don't know, some assassin running from the back every fight. You just hold your GLP and just GLP him, bubble him, and now your ADC lives, right? Spooky goes, Twin Shadows, you know, you after GLP, you can go into some situational items, but in most cases, you want to go straight into Twin Shadows. You pop this bad boy, lets you get free vision down, or it lets you find someone that you can land a big bubble over a wall that your team follows up on. Really good stuff, like 70 AP, 7% move speed, and 10% CDR. Honestly, I'm surprised this item doesn't get picked up on Zoe mid even without Glacial. It's actually a not bad item at all. So if we're going the core DPS build, you want your Luden's Echo and Proto Belt. Depending on what the game is, like if they have a bunch of pick champs with hooks and stuff, you may want, you know, Proto Belts that you can dodge, or if they have more safe champs that you can just look to scale, you can get the Luden's Echo for the earlier spike into Proto Belt later. Situational items, Morello, good against healing. Usually this is actually my 3rd item in the Glacial build. Because you want, the thing with the support is you have your control wards, you have your support item, right? And now you have your boots. You only have 3 slots left, and you fill 2 of them with this. You only have 1 slot left, so it has a good build path, right? Because you can start building your Oblivion Orb, and then after that, the combined cost to the finish is only 1,400 gold. It's not a bad build. Kind of sucks they don't have a lot of healing, but it's usually my third item if they don't, just because of the build path. But you can, if you know they have assassins, you can get the Zanyas. If they have, APs or like say Blitzcrank, you can get the Banshees. If you're snowballing hard in the game at any points and you go back with enough for a needlessly large rod, you could start building the death cap. Leandri's is pretty good versus teams with tanks. At the top, I said my build that I didn't show in the guide because it's in the rundown, but versus like tanky teams, you can go GLP into Leandri's and avoid staff, right? You GLP and now they're slowed, so your Q's proc double Leandri's. Leandri's is also good because it when you land your bubble, it actually counts you in combat. So you land the bubble and it stacks up to 10% extra damage in the bubble, so that when you land your Q on them in there, they're doing actually 10% extra damage on that. So it's even good against squishy targets, to be honest, Leandri's. And then Void Staff, they're building MR, get the Void Staff. So I think I touched on these a bit, but I'll just quickly go over them. Don't want to make this video too long. But early game Zoe, you're really looking to play safe, Q auto, run away. If it's too dense for you to do that, just play back, let your ADC farm, look to roam and follow up. Like half the time, you don't have to go very far if they're fighting in the river. On your side, you can just walk a little bit and land a bubble through a wall, really change the fight. So just look to play safe, look to help your team, look to hit 6. Once you hit 6, you become a monster. You can start landing huge chunk, you can start landing crazy bubbles. That's when you really come online. Mid-late game, Zoe is, your job as a support, you have 2 jobs. Get vision and get to your teammates who need help first, right? So getting vision on Zoe's good. You can R over walls and then put wards into bushes that you wouldn't be able to get to usually. And by doing this playstyle of getting good vision down, you'll be also in the position to help your team. You usually want to be hiding around in the in-between lanes looking for picks. If someone needs help, you'll be halfway there already to roam and help them. So just look to be wherever your team needs you to be, and you'll win more games. In team fights on Zoe, you don't really want team fights to just break out. A lot of the time when a team fight breaks out, I feel like I don't do anything, to be honest. Like, I miss half my spells, I don't do much, and somehow my team wins. And it's like, why does my team keep winning even though I'm doing nothing in team fights? It's because of how you set up for fights. You have good vision down, and if you're landing good poke, and you just keep landing poke, 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 eventually you land a good bubble, and your team decides to go in on that bubble because you poked enough, and then your team just wins, even though it's essentially 4v5 because you don't do that much once the fight starts, because it's really hard to land spells in team fights. I get really flustered. Maybe it's because I'm not the best Zoe player. Maybe you guys will have better team fights than me, but I usually just land poke before the fight, and then eventually a bubble lands on a target that's either half HP or even it's like a frontline tank, but I've chunked out the back line of them. My team feels confident to go in. You just got to be there, try to use your GLP in the fight to peel your ADC, and hopefully you guys get some free wins. I mean, I will say this build thing felt okay in like the silver-ish and below elo when I was doing the unranked to diamond. Once I hit like the high gold plat, it felt a lot harder to win. Teams had egos, they didn't want to listen, and it felt like hard because I was kind of useless. But then once I got to the high plat diamond, I started to just win like crazy again. It's just like all you have to do is get good vision down really and like support your team, and they're gonna carry you. So I don't know, in the mid to like high gold, mid plat high gold, I should go down the control conclusion, is a bit of a struggle. But low elo you can just like solo carry, just get out of control. That's another thing about the mid plat gold is below gold or low gold, it's like you can level 2, I like to flash aggressively. So like I hit my level 2 in my relic shield first, and I literally flash, go for a bubble on their ADC, and if they don't respect that, it's a free kill. And if they do respect it, it's like I have hex flash and I can go for hex flash plays on their ADC, but usually I would just get kills level 2. Once you get to like high gold and plat, the enemy's usually good enough to not fall for that anymore, which means you lose your chance to get free kills in snowball, which is fine because Zoe's not supposed to get free kills in snowball. But it's going to be harder for you to carry. You need your team to actually work as a team, which people in that elo don't like to work as a team. Once you get to high elo, you're not going to be able to get the kills in lane very easily anymore, obviously, but your team's going to be working more as a team and making you feel more useful in your role. So that's my opinion. Again, check me out on Twitch if you made it this far. I appreciate it. I stream like literally every day from 5:30 p.m. EST to midnight EST. Check out my YouTube. Obviously, this video is on my YouTube. And join my Discord. You can ask me questions there whenever you want. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it.